Hey everybody, Chris here. Welcome. It was quite a volatile day today trading with the FOMC meeting. We'll talk about that as well as looking at Bitcoin, Dogecoin, and a number of other altcoins. Some were still taken off, but others had a big dip. I was able to close quite a few of my swing trades that I had going on, so that was good. Still had a few open, didn't quite hit my limit order price, but you can't get everything you want. So you sort of learn to live with that. Also, there's some other news. Still a war against crypto. I'll show you a few more examples of what's going on because the United States government isn't done bashing crypto yet. So we'll look at some of that as well. So how y'all doing tonight? I'm doing well. Again, yeah, tough to see this big dip here, but if you were watching me last night, we were talking about it, and there were some of you that were moon boys saying Bitcoin's going to 30,000, and it wasn't just here; it was also on YouTube. $30,000 Bitcoin was in the cards, and what did I say last night? I don't think so. I think we're going to go down, and I was called a bear, and I was like, not a bear, just a dip. The dip is what I called for, and the dip was going, well, there you are, Bill. Hi. I wasn't going to call you out by name, but yeah. So if you listened to me and you were ready, you would have had some buying power ready, some cash ready to buy the dip. And that's what I did. Let me drop down in the corner here. Let's look at Doge, because Doge is now at 7.42. And actually, let me go to the 15-minute chart here, because what was happening, Dogecoin was actually trading up before the FOMC meeting. It actually traded back up to 780. And I was like, what is going on? This could be the calm before the storm. That's what I was thinking. And then when the 25 basis point thing came out, there was a little bit of up and down action in the market. It's sort of like the prices didn't know what to do because 25 basis points was kind of what was expected. I think there were a lot of people thinking it would have just been zero, that there would have been a pause, which would have been somewhat of a pivot by the Fed. In order to help out the banks, but no, that's not the Fed's job. The Fed's job isn't the bank, that's the Treasury's job. The Fed's job is to bash inflation. You got to stop inflation, and the only way they can do that is raising interest rates. So, as I was saying for a week, 25 basis points was probably what they were going to do, and that's what they did. However, if that was already priced in, and the markets already thought that 25 basis points was going to be there, why the big dip? Why did it dip? And that was during the comments. So half an hour after the 25 basis point thing comes out, Jerome Powell speaks, gives a statement, but then there's questions and answers. And it's those questions and answers where the truth really starts to come out. And it sounds like the Fed just doesn't quite have a handle on what's going on. They pretty much have pushed the banks aside and said, we can't help the banks. We need to battle inflation. And not only that, but they're not going to lower interest rates, at least until next year. And he pretty much said that. It's like, maybe there'll be something in the May FOMC meeting, some thinking that there might be another 25 basis point hike, but that's kind of up in the air. But then the Fed, he pretty much said he's going to let it go then through the year and sort of watch how the markets do. Watch what happens. People didn't like that. And that's when everything crashed down. So, and it was certainly interesting to watch. The markets respond to that, sort of the up and down action and then the dumping. and the dumping happened both in crypto and the general markets, but not huge. I mean, the NASDAQ was down 1.3%. And yeah, some say that's a lot for the stocks, but it could have been a lot worse. And so I didn't think that was too bad. And although the crypto red candles did kind of look bad, overall, again, we're just talking about, 2 or 3 percentage points, not huge losses. But it all just kind of happened at once. And so you saw this going down. And then all of a sudden it just became, okay, this is where people are going to start buying. And this is where I was buying too. So on Dogecoin, I finished my swing trade. And since I had extra cash because I had sold up high, bought in low, I was able to buy more. So I have a bigger stash of Dogecoin now than I had before. We'll just leave it at that. But I was also able to do my completed swing trade on Algorand. And well, except for there was a little bit left. I was right here. My limit order was at 2092. And it was eating away at my limit order because I was buying hundreds of thousands of Algorand in order to close my swing trade. And it didn't quite get it all before it started moving up. And that has to do with liquidity on an exchange. And if there's not a lot of trading on the exchange, then you don't get your whole order because the liquidity's got to be there, or people need to be selling in order for me to be buying. And there wasn't a lot of selling, and there wasn't a lot of liquidity on some of these, like Kusama and Algorand, and even Cadena. Although I had set a much lower limit order for Cadena, and it didn't even get close to that because I really wasn't sure whether I really wanted to buy back into Cadena. So I just set that one low. Just if there was going to be a bigger dip, I would buy it at a lower price. But that's what happened. Anyway, so yeah, so all the cryptos dropped down except for a few. Litecoin was one that decided to have a mind of its own, and it just took off. So Litecoin, I don't know why Litecoin goes on these runs, but that's what we saw with Litecoin. So that was kind of the star of the day. of all of the cryptos that I watch was Litecoin just taking off today. So that was fun to see for Litecoin. SHIB, I didn't hit my price. I was at 1016 and it dropped down to about 1020, 1024. So I don't have any SHIB right now, but this may come down again. I think we are. There's some uncertainty now after the dip and after the recovery. It's kind of up and down now, and we don't really know which way this market is going to go right now. And I would say this is probably kind of going to be up and down. We'll see tomorrow what happens with the stock market after everyone's had a day to think about what happened. So let's get to the news because there's a lot to talk about. The futures, let me update the futures for, they're just a little bit changed, a little bit in the green, but not much, 0.17%, 0.13%, 0.12%. That's not much at all. So futures a little changed as investors weigh the Fed outlook on rate hikes. So people are going to think about it. We're going to think about it. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Financial conditions are tightening after Silicon Valley Bank's collapse and could slow the economy, Powell says. So, yeah, that could be, but Bitcoin sinks below 27,000 as the Fed, Powell, keep focus on inflation, because that's all the Fed can do is battle inflation. They don't want runaway inflation. And so hiking the interest rate by 25 basis points was pretty much expected, and that's what happened. And Cointelegraph Bitcoin price whipsaws as Fed says rate hikes may not be appropriate. And we saw that a lot, especially with Bitcoin. This was very interesting to watch in like the 5-minute time frame here, that we saw this big up and down, and then sideways until the press conference started, and then dip down, way up, and then big dip and up again. So it was kind of this whipsaw thing that was happening, even with Bitcoin. A lot of volume on a number of these candles here that really moved the price. So it was interesting with each question asked. Sometimes he'd be a little dovish and you'd see the green, and then he'd be hawkish and you'd see the red. Kind of interesting to watch as that was going on. But that wasn't just Bitcoin, it was Doge too, coming up and down and really moving as well. So that's what we saw with the fluctuations. It's too soon to determine the extent of these effects, and therefore too soon to tell how monetary policy should respond. What does that mean? That means what? Do you know what you're doing? You have no control over the situation, right? That's what that looks like as well. So, but overall, we look at Bitcoin and we zoom out to the daily, because we got to zoom out, right, and look at the big picture. And it's not bad. It's still not bad. Bitcoin is still had this big run last week, and this could be just a little correction here, and then the next day could be a green candle and we continue up. That could still happen here. That could play out. Or we could see a little more negativity in the crypto market, and this could continue to come down, maybe back test this 26,200 line here. But it's back up over 27,000 now and holding fairly strong. So I don't think that is too bad. Usually when you have a MACD on the green like this, it's going to come down, maybe go into the red. But it might have a fake out like we had here back in January, where it comes up, it starts to come down, and it comes up again. So we could see that. But pullbacks in the market are expected, and I was calling for that pullback, and that's what we saw today. We saw the pullback. That's actually good for the overall markets. It clears out some of that liquidity that needed to be cleared out at certain levels. There was a lot of really tight swing trading going on. A couple articles that I read talked about leveraged longs on a very tight window, and shorts as well. So it was pretty crazy today. But overall, this still looks bullish to me with a pullback. So you guys thinking I'm a bear? I'm not a bear. It's a pullback, and the pullback happened, and it was a good buying opportunity. So will it go lower? It might. It might still go lower, but again, I was swing trading, so I did want to close those swing trade positions, buy in at a lower price, and this gave me the opportunity to do that. So that's what I was doing. I was swing trading. So what else is going on? Well, there's your tough news, right? Kraken to suspend ACH deposits and withdrawals, because Kraken used Silvergate. Silvergate was the bank they used for their ACH deposits and withdrawals. So if you were on Kraken and you wanted to get money onto the exchange, you could buy crypto. A lot of you went through Silvergate. You may not have known it. You might have been going to your bank and doing this ACH, and it would flow through Silvergate. Well, Silvergate's shut down now. So as of now, you cannot do an ACH deposit or withdrawal on Kraken. Can't do it. They're looking for another bank. But do you think another bank is going to volunteer to become, this on-ramp and off-ramp for fiat for Kraken, and then have the SEC come knocking on your door. Nope, the regulators coming and shutting them down. They're not going to want to do that. So we'll be watching that and see what happens with Kraken. But if you wanted to sell crypto and then get your cash out, you have to find some other way because you can't do an ACH. And I don't know what that is. I don't trade on Kraken, so I don't know what they have as options. But yeah. Then we have this. The SEC files a lawsuit against Justin Sun. Now, for those who've been watching me for a while, you know that I have said time and time again, I don't trust that guy. People have asked me before, what do I think about Tron? What do I think about, BitTorrent? And I'm just like, nope, not going to touch him because it's Justin Sun. Well, guess what? The SEC has caught up to Justin Sun and his tricks. So what he's accused of doing, we'll get to the celebrities in a minute, but what Justin Sun is doing today, we charged crypto entrepreneur Justin Sun and 3 of his wholly owned companies for the unregistered offer and sale of crypto asset securities, Tron and BitTorrent. According to the SEC, Sun's actions in the offer and sale of TRX and BTT violated aspects of the Securities Act. The regulator alleged the Tron founder was responsible for more than 600,000 wash trades of Tron between April 2018 and February 2019, which led to Justin Sun selling more than $31 million of his own token. How about that? The SEC has caught up to him. So that's good to get players like that out of the business. I would, if I had Tron or BTT, you might want to consider selling, not financial advice, but you might want to consider closing those positions because I don't think those cryptos are going to be doing very well. But then we also have more celebrities. We've got Lindsay Lohan, we've got Jake Paul, we've got Akon, we've got Soulja Boy, Austin Mahone. And I don't know who Alion Thiam is. Oh, he's known as Akon. Okay, that's who that is. No wonder I didn't know who he was. They were all promoting Tron and getting paid for it. And in fact, on Twitter, these were just some of the paid tweets that were made without disclosure. Lohan and Lil Yachty got $10,000 each for a tweet. Neo got $12,000. And Jake Paul got $25,000 to just retweet Lil Yachty's tweet. So here's what that looks like. Here's Lindsay Lohan's. She got $10,000 for just doing this tweet. Well, guess what? The SEC has come knocking, and Lindsay's got to pay. $10,000 for this tweet. It doesn't say it's an ad. It doesn't say it's a promotion. It just looks like a harmless tweet. However, he got paid for it. And here's Jake Paul retweeting Lil Yachty, and he gets paid $25,000 for this. Well, guess what? Jake Paul is now paying the SEC. Crazy. So there's that. And then we've got this. SEC warns that Coinbase pursuing enforcement action over securities violations. So the SEC informed the company plans to pursue an enforcement action against the exchange and its staking services. And both Brian Armstrong and his legal department have been putting out tweets today, basically saying, look, if the SEC tells us and works with us on where the SEC thinks we're going wrong, because we're trying to follow all the rules, but if you don't tell us what the rules are, how do we know if we're following them or not? That's Brian's position here, and I don't blame him. I don't blame him. The SEC has not clarified what they think is an unregistered security. They haven't defined it. Coinbase is trying to do the right thing. If needed, we welcome a legal process to provide the clarity we have been advocating for and to demonstrate that the SEC simply has not been fair or reasonable when it comes to its engagement on digital assets. That's it. Come on, SEC. But no, this is part of this effort. We talked about the White House and yesterday and their anti-crypto message. We know what's going on with the banks and Silvergate being taken over by regulators because it's a crypto-friendly bank. And then we get this. It is a full-on assault against cryptocurrencies, is what it is. But you know what? Crypto will just keep getting stronger because of it. Plus, cryptocurrency is not just the United States. It's worldwide. So I don't think we're going to see crypto dump because of these things. It's not going to dump, and it's all going to get worked out. But then we have our congressmen and women, right, who are saying that crypto needs to be banned or regulated because the people in the United States could be caught in scams because that's all crypto is scams, right? So we get this article. A third of US crypto holders have experienced theft. Well, that's true. There are a lot of scammers out there. And I have lost some as well. The hackers are pretty crafty. They know how to get into phones. They know how to get into computers, SIM cards, all that stuff. And it's all for crypto. And then you also have the, online between emails and text messages and all about getting people to send them crypto. So you got to be careful out there. You got to be careful. That's why I recommend the hardware wallet. Oh, what a pain it is to do this whole swing trade thing, transferring all these coins off the hardware wallet onto the exchange so I could sell and then rebuy and then transfer it all back. But I feel a lot safer with this thing. This is my Ledger Nano S. And I have an affiliate link in the description below if you want to check out a hardware wallet, the Ledger. And this is highly recommended. Don't buy it from Amazon or Best Buy or anything like that. Get it directly from Ledger so you know that it hasn't been touched. You get your own, seed phrase. Very important. So check that out because you don't want to be one of these in the third there. So you don't want to be one of those thirds. So that's what's going on in the news. I did just want to show you one thing about trading. This is Binance.us. Again, I have a link in the description below here for Binance.us. This is what I do a lot of my trading on, but I also use Coinbase, Robinhood, and Webull. And I have all of these here, and I have links in the description below for all of these exchanges because I use all of these, all 4 of these, for different reasons. But Robinhood is where I was buying my Dogecoin. Coinbase is mainly Algorand, and Binance US. There's a lot of other coins, Aptos and Yearn, and a number of things. Here's Bitcoin, and on this, you can see it's very active. There are trades like every second or every other second. There are trades on Bitcoin, but you get to some of these. I mean, like Algorand, even though I bought it on Coinbase, there aren't as many trades. This has a trade like every one a minute. About 1 trade every minute is all that it has. So it's a low liquidity token. But then you've got others that are were harder. I was trying to buy Kusama because I'd done a swing trade with Kusama, and I was trying to buy Kusama back. And look at the Kusama chart here. There's hardly any trading that goes on. It can go, looks like there was just some trading here at 21.19. I think this was somebody just trying to buy a bunch at the same time, but it can go half an hour without a trade here from 1602 to 1637 with no trades. And so I had this limit order set and was just waiting for it to fill because there's no liquidity and no buying. That's why I use limit orders. And I just do not do market orders, especially if you see a chart that has low liquidity. Do not do market orders. You'll get burned. You'll get burned. You'll see these wicks up here. Those wicks are people buying market order, and then it wicks up and they end up paying a lot more than they would have normally paid. So you just got to be careful with that. So I just wanted to let you know that. But again, I have links in the description below. These are the exchanges I use. I'm not shilling something I don't use. This is what I use. So that's what's going on, guys. Doge is just kind of drifting down a little, 736. We'll see. We'll see what happens overnight with the trading here, and whether crypto stays up at this level and goes sideways, or whether we see a little more pullback. So we'll watch that. So let's see what's going on in the chat here, guys. Musty, welcome. You made it. I know, Bill. Yeah, thank you. I get lucky, maybe. I don't know. Hey, Ron. Feel so rich. Sandwich. Tasty. Tasty. So good. Crash Coin, welcome. I feel like crypto's been going at its own pace, especially Doge during the past year. Hopefully more bullish confirmation soon. Yeah, I think we got a little rough patch to get through. Again, this is still accumulation time. Still accumulation time. Yep, SEC going after Coinbase. Yep, I just did that article. I was ready for you. Now for me, I was wrong. Maybe I'll hit my 30K in a few more weeks. We'll see, Bill. Are you selling at 30K? Is that what you're looking at doing? Sinue, welcome. I'm not on Telegram. Don't have a Discord. I'm on Twitter. So you can follow me on Twitter. Here I am at ChrissPax. So give me a follow on Twitter. Having fun with funny videos. And also some commentary on what's going on with the Fed and finances and Tesla, Cybertruck, and also crypto. Again, this is what I said last week. Might want to consider taking some profits in the crypto market. Could be a very bumpy ride this week. So I tweeted that on March 19th. And sure enough, that's what we're seeing. So follow me on Twitter at Kriss. Appreciate it. Can you sell or trade on Ledger? With Ledger Live, you can. I don't recommend it. I don't recommend it. Use Ledger Live to set up your ledger, and that's how your coins go through, quote unquote, coins go through in order to get stored on your device. And then you unplug your hardware wallet and you don't use Ledger Live again until you need to put more coins on or take coins off. Because if you're trading on Ledger Live and you've got your hardware wallet plugged in, if something happens, again, these scammers and the hackers are getting better and better, and they're finding ways in. And I just would not recommend it. But people say it works, but I don't use it for that. I don't. I use these exchanges, and I transfer from the wallet address to the wallet address on like on Binance.us and Coinbase, and the transfer is cheap, except for Doge on Binance. This is why I buy Doge on Robinhood, because on Binance they charge you an extra fee for transfers. So I buy on so I use Robinhood to buy my Doge. And in fact, it's still on there. I haven't transferred it yet from today. I still have it all on Robinhood. Hi, Doge Dad. Welcome. CDM's late. You finally graduated and working now, back to investing. So you've got some money coming in, huh? We had a whole session on dollar cost averaging a couple weeks ago, talking about dollar cost averaging, either doing that or buying dips. And that's what I do. I use the buy dip strategy, but that's just because I am a trader. And I'm always watching the charts and keeping up with the news, because I do this. I got to know what's going on, but also it's really interesting to me, and I've got a lot in the market, so it's very much of interest to me because I've got a lot in crypto, and so I keep up with it. So I was ready when we had this dip today. I was ready to buy, and so I was able to close a lot of my swing trades or rebuy back in from when I had sold last week up high. So those swing trades were about 4 or 5 days in a trade from when I sold, which would be the 15-minute here. Yeah, so I had initially sold there. Well, that was on Sunday. So I had sold right up here, right below 760. I had sold. I bought back some of it on Monday at 712, and then I bought the rest of it today. It was right around 725 or something like that is where I bought back the rest of my Doge. But this was over 1 million Dogecoin I sold up here, because I just had this feeling, just one of those things that it was going to go down. So I sold here. I didn't hit it the exact top, and I didn't sell back here when it was even higher, but that was a pretty good swing trade there for me. So you saw my first video on how to swing trade way back when. Yep. Yep. So swing trading is risky in crypto, and I don't do it very often. But there are times when the setup is just right. When you see a big move up, but overall conditions still are bearish, which they were over the weekend, last weekend. And so I saw that as an opportunity to do a swing trade. And I sold a lot of crypto there. I sold Algorand. The Algorand I sold was up here. And then rebought down low. And you don't know that it's going to do that. I mean, crypto could have just kept going up. But to me, it just seemed like that was the time that it looked like there was going to be a retracement. And so, and like I said, I haven't bought back all of my positions yet. So, and look, Algorand's even gone up higher. I mean, this morning it was flying high. And I was still waiting to buy more back at a low price. I was like, wow, Algorand's up over 23 cents. But it came back down. So I got most of it back here at just below 21. But this could still drop further. We could have Algorand, all of crypto could just keep retracing back lower. That could happen. But from where I had originally bought Algorand at like 16 cents, I'm still way up overall. But I sold all that. And yes, I'll have to pay some taxes on that. That's the other thing there, Jodabin, is taxes. That's a short-term capital gains tax on the profit on that, on the swing trade. So I don't do the swing trading that often, but I'd rather pay tax on, you know, a $10,000 gain or a move where you sell high and you buy back low, and what you're buying back in lower, you've got a $10,000 difference in that. That's pretty good. So yeah, I'll pay $3,000 of tax on that, and I'll keep 7. And with that 7, what can I do? I can buy more crypto. So when the bull run happens, I'll have that much more crypto because I did the swing trade. So that's how I think about it. I think in those terms. But right now, looking at the charts, they're not looking great. They're not looking great right now. It looks like we're still kind of retracing a little bit. Doge down to 735. Bitcoin staying above 27,000. We'll see whether it holds overnight. But right now, it just doesn't feel like there's a big bull run in the near term. Don't see it right now. Not sure if you talked about this, but I'm glad crypto did dip lower. I wish it had dipped just a little bit lower on a couple tokens though, because I had some limit orders that didn't fill. Because I told you earlier, right, on the live stream, I said I've got a bunch of limit orders set, and this was before the FOMC meeting. So if you guys weren't checking on the live stream, the chart live stream, my 24/7 live stream, is I put that in there that I was setting a bunch of limit orders, and 8 of them hit and 2 of them didn't on those limit orders, or something like that. There's 2 of them that are still just didn't quite hit, and the Algorand didn't quite completely fill yet because of low liquidity that I talked about a little bit ago. So, and we don't do advertising on my channel. And yeah, there are fees as well. Yeah. The Coinbase fees aren't really that bad. There are fees though. And with Robinhood, you don't really get the current price because they've got a big spread between the bid and the ask. And that's the same for crypto.com and a bunch of others as well. You don't get the price you want. So yeah. That's why I like to use the exchanges like Binance US, because you can get right into, let's put Doge up here. See how Doge is trading on Binance right now. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, they don't have a lot of on Binance US. They don't have a lot of trading on Doge. There's a couple trades a minute. That's not really a lot. But if it says 735 here and you go to market order to buy and you put in how many you want, you're going to get that price of 735. You're going to get that. But I still don't recommend it. I still recommend using limit orders. Even if it's right there at that price, I still use the limit order because you never know about liquidity. And all of a sudden you could have a tail up or tail down, whether you're buying or selling. You could end up paying more. But that's just how these exchanges work. But you'll get that price. But on Robinhood, if you see 735 on Robinhood and you go to purchase it, you're going to buy it for 740. Because they have this big wide swing between bid and ask. It'll go up here to 740. And that's what you'll get. You won't get 735. But you don't pay a fee on Robinhood. But on Coinbase, you pay a fee with each trade. So they get you one way or another. That's how the exchanges make their money. They're not free, right? They're businesses. They want to make money. That's how they do it. So, yeah, the FOMC meeting was kind of exciting to watch. Next one is May 3rd is the next FOMC. So we'll see what's going on. But there's a lot of time between now and then, a lot of other news, things going on. We're going to have more banks going under. Is there going to be more FUD in crypto? Or is there going to be a lot of great news for Bitcoin and others, and we're going to just turn around and go right back up? Right now, we're in this reset year of the 4-year cycles. So if you haven't seen my video on the 4-year cycles I did a few days ago, watch that. We're in the reset year, and the reset year is going to have ups and it's going to have downs, because that's where we are. The Bitcoin halving isn't for another year. It's going to be sometime early April 2024. So we're still a little over a year away from the next Bitcoin halving. But go check out my 4-year cycle video. I go in detail and look at the history. Again, if history repeats itself, which a lot of people believe, because it's happened 3 times in Bitcoin's history, and the 4th could very well do something very similar. So that's what we look at. Why is Litecoin going up, Christian? Yeah, we looked at that chart earlier. Why did Litecoin just not dip today? Looks like it's retracing a little bit now. Everything else went down during FOMC except Litecoin. It just took off, and I don't know why. I don't follow Litecoin that closely. I have it on my watch list just because it's one of the OG coins, and just for interest. A lot of people ask about Litecoin, but for some reason it pumped today, and I don't know why. Where are most of the trades happening for Doge? Good question, Joshua. Good question. So we can go to CoinMarketCap, and one thing on CoinMarketCap is Dogecoin still in 8th position above Matic. Because we look at over the past 7 days, look, Dogecoin is up 5% over the last 7 days, while Matic is down 0.19%. So that's how Doge was able to flip Matic. But we click on Doge. This is on CoinMarketCap. So we click on Doge, and then we can scroll down. Bum, bum, bum. Come on, everybody. Bah, 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 bah. And we say, see all markets. And this gives a list of all of the markets where Dogecoin is trading. And there's a bunch of them. A lot of markets, 100. They just do the top 100 here. I guess you can load more, even more. And these are ranked in terms of the volume of trading. So Binance is number one. 21% of all Dogecoin transactions over the past, I don't know, 24 hours. I'm guessing that is 21% is on Binance, 5.2% on Coinbase. Oh, that's Doge to Tether. That's Doge USDT pair on Binance, 21%. Then you have Doge BUSD pair at 4.9%. Then you have Doge BTC pair at 1.3%. And Doge with TRY, I don't even know what TRY is. That is another 1.2%. So Binance by far has the most trading going on by volume, is what you see. But KuCoin's up here, 2%. I don't know what BitHum is. I think that's an Asian market, would be my guess, 1.8%. Kraken, 0.76% for Doge to USD, and then Doge to Euro, 0.43% on Kraken. And here's Coinbase, Doge to Euros as well. So you can see the volume here. And you can go all the way down and you can find some that have really minimal volume. But you can do Doge BTC on crypto.com, but it's such a low volume. I'd be very careful. I'd be really careful doing that. You have to use a limit order. Otherwise you can get, you could end up buying Doge for a lot more than you think. So be careful if you're using some of these down here. So check that out on CoinMarketCap. Is Litecoin related to Doge? It is in a way. Litecoin was a fork of Bitcoin. The hash was changed and it was given more coins. So the number of coins, I think, is 184,000 is the max, if I recall. See if I remember that number right. Come on, load up. Where's Litecoin? I miss it. There it is, number 13. So we click on Litecoin. 84,000. I'm sorry, 84 million max supply. Litecoins, 84 million. And Bitcoin is 21 million. So they took, because the Bitcoin code was open source. So when Litecoin was made, they took the Bitcoin code and they modified it. They made it so the max supply is 84 million instead of 21 million. They changed when the halving happens. The next halving for Litecoin, I think, is this August. So it's like roughly, it's done by the number of blocks. So they changed that. And I'm not quite sure what else happened other than, well, the hashing and the way the hashing works. It's not the SHA 256 hashing. It's the The cryptocurrency was created based on Bitcoin, differs in terms of the hashing algorithm used, the hard cap, the block transaction times, right? So those are the things that were changed. So from Litecoin, there was another fork that was called Lucky Coin. Whoever made Lucky Coin forked it off of Litecoin. And then Billy Marcus was playing around with cryptocurrency, and he took the Lucky Coin code and he made a cryptocurrency called Bells, which was based on the Animal Crossing game, just for the fun of it, just to do it. And he put that out there and nothing happened with it, like nobody cared. And he was like, whatever. But then he saw Jackson Palmer's post about, Dogecoin making a cryptocurrency based on the meme, could be the next big thing. Billy got a chuckle out of that, got in touch with Jackson Palmer and said, once they connected, Billy said, I could code that for you, because he had already coded Bells, which was off of Lucky Coin, which was off of Litecoin. So then he spent, a day playing around with making Dogecoin, but he'd already made Bells. And he just made up the numbers. Like, instead of having a hard cap of the number of coins, we'll just keep giving them out, right? And instead of making, thousands, we'll make millions, right? And billions. We'll have so many coins that the price will be low. And that's what he did. So that is the relationship. And this was all told to me by Billy Marcus when I had him on my live stream a few years ago. Pretty exciting talking to Billy and going through all of that. But yes, so that's where Doge comes from. It's off of and then the Doge community and the Litecoin community got together to help them each through merge mining. So you can actually be mining Litecoin and Dogecoin at the same time with the same mining rig. And it's to help each other out. So they do that too, because they have the same kind of hashing. So they can do that. You can't use the same mining rig to mine Litecoin and Bitcoin, because Bitcoin uses a completely different hash. You can't do it off the same rig, but you can do Litecoin and Doge. Why does the ledger give you different wallet addresses all the time? They change on you. Mine don't. Or not that I've noticed. I haven't used it that much. Not that I've noticed. It's my wallet address. That might be something with Ledger Live. I don't know. Good question, though. I have to look into that. Doge is drifting down to 732. Bitcoin's drifting down to 27.2. So yeah, I think we're just kind of going to be up and down overnight, and then we'll see how this plays out in the morning. And then tomorrow when stock market opens up again. But I don't think this is Bitcoin's not ready to take off yet. I just don't see that in the way it's trading right now. All right, gang. So do please give a like. I don't always ask for that, but give a like and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed to my channel. Always appreciate that support. After the stream, I'll be putting on the 24/7 chart, Bitcoin chart live stream. So you can always go into that and leave a comment like CDM did earlier today. And I check on that throughout the day and can chat right there. on the live stream. So check that out. Otherwise, I'm back 9 o'clock every night here to talk about crypto with Bitcoin and Doge and whatever else is going on in the news. Certainly be interesting day again tomorrow, the follow up to the FOMC, see how things unravel, or if we take off again. So still kind of bearish, CDM. Kind of wouldn't mind seeing Bitcoin drop down to 24 though. We'll see. We'll see. Thanks for the thumbs up too. Appreciate it. Okay, gang. Until tomorrow night, have a good evening, and we'll see you next time.
Dogecoin, which started as a complete joke, has like skyrocketed to not a joke anymore. It hit an all-time high of almost 10 cents yesterday, but it was so minuscule you wouldn't have understood why you have millions of shares.
Didn't Elon tweet that too?
And arguably, the most entertaining outcome and the most ironic outcome would be that Dogecoin becomes the currency of Earth in the future.